Well, welcome back to the Immigration Answers Show. My name is Jim Hacking. This is episode 904 of the Immigration Answer Show, and today is Tuesday, September 9th. How's everybody doing? How's your week? Off to a good start, I hope. I'm here with my friend Lady. Lady's watching the boards today. Thank you for being here, dear lady. I appreciate you and all of your efforts in the CCD. Got a lot of our friends here today. So we're excited to see all of you. We're excited to get on with the show. I see the waiting room is already full, so I am actually just going to go ahead and get started. I see Mary, Queen D, Damien, and Bercy. I'm going to start with Mary. Hello.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm well. How are you, Mary?
I'm okay. Thank God. Thank you for asking.
What's up?
So what happened was 3 weeks, no, like a month now. Me and my husband we went for interview. So what actually happened was I watched your video before I went, so I
Oh,
knew exactly what was going to happen.
hi.
So the lady, the officer, she was trying to put words in my mouth. She was trying to push me beyond limits, but I stood my ground and I was because when we got there, they had to separate us. So mm, I did my own part, but what happened was my husband he went in there like he knew the lady and like it was just a casual meeting, like a coffee meeting, and he started saying a lot of stuff. So what happened is at the end of the day, what I said and what he said were like two opposite they were opposite each other.
On
So
big things or little things?
oh, big things, it's
Like
a
what?
lot.
Like what?
um they asked, okay, for example, they asked if I've ever spoken with his daughter. I said yeah, like not a lot, but once in a while. Then they asked him if I have ever spoken to his daughter. He said no. Then me and him, before we got there, we agreed that we were never gonna we agreed that we were gonna say, because recently he visited his daughter in New York. So we were gonna say we visited together. And guess what? He went there and he said he went by himself.
But what was true?
What was true, he went there by himself.
Well, you can't make shit up. You can't be mad at him for not lying. He told the truth. You told a lie.
But what happened was me and him agreed.
That
You
doesn't matter.
understand?
That's called fraud. You can't agree on what you're going to say if it's not true. Are you
Yeah,
kidding me?
but if he had wanted us to say it like he went by himself or I never spoke with his daughter, then that should be the case. You understand what I'm saying? It's
No,
like,
no. The answers are supposed to be truthful. The answers are not supposed to be coached or agreed upon ahead of time. As soon as you
yeah,
said, as soon
but
as you
but
said
if
agreed,
but
just
he
say
was the one. He was the one that made me to say it though. If um if for example he said no, Mary, when we go there, we're just gonna say, you never talk to my daughter, you never seen my daughter before, then that would be the case. But he said, okay, if they say where I've, because we don't really go out like that. We don't go to places. Most of the time we are tired from work and we're just home. So we just wanted to use that like, oh yeah, we went out together, we visited his daughter in New York. So that was the case. That was why we wanted to use that just to say, oh, yeah, we actually went out to somewhere. So he went ahead to say, no, he went by himself. I didn't go with him. Then they asked him, when last did his son visited? I knew his son was not here last year. So he said, oh, his son visited this year. I'm like, oh my God, I'm dead. His son never came to the house this year. So, there was a lot of confusion back and forth. So, last week, they wrote us for us to defend all these things. I don't even know what to write. So, that is where I'm stuck right now.
well, for everybody who's watching, you can't coach each other and agree on answers. That's the worst thing you can do. And what that suggests to everybody is that this marriage isn't even real. So a real marriage, you wouldn't have to discuss like like people ask me all the time, Jim, do you spend a lot of time preparing your clients for the gotcha questions or like helping them make sure they're on the same page? You number one, have an obligation to always tell the truth. So scripting answers to make things sound what you think to be better for your case is always a bad idea. It's called lying. It's called immigration fraud. So I think you're in big trouble. I think you're in big trouble. And I think they identified the discrepancies. They identified, and so they think this marriage is fake. They think that they think he picked you up you up from where you live, and on the way over there, you guys cooked up some stories and they busted your butts.
Yeah.
I think you're in trouble. I don't think you're getting a green card.
Oh my God.
Thanks, Mary. Good luck to you. That was not a good idea. If anyone ever says to you, let's agree to say this or let's agree to say that, that's a really bad thing, really bad sign. And you should never, ever be involved in that. And I certainly couldn't be involved in that. That was something. I don't know in the history of the show if you had many people flat out admit to planning answers out before their interview. And I know a lot of people think immigration lawyers are the ones who help people pull that shit off. No, we don't. No, we don't. As my friend Ms. B says, only the truth can set you free. Queen D, hello.
Baby.
How you doing?
Hello.
What's up?
All right. Just here and
You're breaking up, brother. You're breaking up. Can you go someplace with better reception?
I'm sorry, our apartment is so bad, the internet connection.
That seems better. What's up?
You hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so we get married about a month ago. We just met up. Next month is gonna be a year since we're together, but we get married for my birthday. And I'm from Jamaica, and I recently I came up through the border and put in my asylum and seek asylum, and so I'm wondering now if there's a possibility if I can get my green card through marriage base.
Why do you fear going back to Jamaica?
Because I came up and I fear because I let them know that I was having problem in my community where is a homophobic country, and I filed my asylum saying that I was a bisexual and all of that. So
Did you just make that up so that you could get a work card?
well, my asylum, I basically that was the only premises that they were giving asylum under, but there's really true that there really is a homophobic country and they don't really like this. So
Who's they? You said they're the only. That's the only one they're giving asylum for. So you don't write your asylum case to match what you think is approvable. Who is they?
like they're Jamaican, like the country, they don't really. You understand me? If they know that you're
But you're saying you're saying you snuck into the country and then you filed an asylum case that wasn't real for you. Yeah. All right, everybody. We're not talking about immigration fraud. This is not, let's coach you how to steal a green card. This is not, hey, let's file fake shit. What are the first two callers? First one says, my husband and I agreed to lie about certain answers, and then he got scared and told the truth, and then my answers didn't match his. That was our first caller. Second caller comes from Jamaica over the border and says, well, the only way that they're giving asylum is by saying that you're gay, and that didn't really apply to me, but I filed it anyway just because I want to stay here. Jesus, what the hell's going on? I thought this stuff only happens at night. Damian, hello.
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 Go ahead, Damien.
Yeah, but Jim, me and my wife was online. You still don't answer me. So you're saying that me and my wife. So you say you still don't answer me. So I can't file for my thing. I got my asylum. I can't file for my green card. Do we get married?
Wait, you're the guy that I
So
was just
I
talking
got
to?
yeah, my wife. I was online with my wife. We were both in the back room. We were both. So you don't answer me
You,
like,
you
oh, they
filed,
know that it's a fraud. I can
you
prove
filed.
instance in my country where they murdered gay in my
Are you
where
gay?
they murdered gay in my community
Are
and
you
all of that.
gay?
So
Are you gay?
well, I'm a bisexual. Not I prove that I'm a bisexual. I say that I'm a bisexual, but how can I? How will they know that I'm lying or what?
Because you're telling me that you're lying. You told me you're lying. You made this shit up. You don't fear going. You just wanted to sneak into the country
Yeah,
and get a
but
work card.
um,
What you're talking about is what makes my life hard, and all these nice people that are
yeah,
trying
but
to follow the rules. You're the kind of person that makes this hard by filing a bullshit asylum case that has no basis in fact, has nothing to do with you. You've never been oppressed in Jamaica. You just filed. You just snuck in, just like you snuck 2 calls in here to try to talk to me.
yeah. So all right, can we not throw away the? I talked to the lawyer. They said they can put away the asylum case and then
Put away
deal with
the
my
asylum
green card
case.
case. So that
So,
was
so you swore under oath that everything in your asylum case was true. You swore
I
under
never
oath.
saw my
Go ahead.
lawyer put in all of this for me. Yeah, I went. I speak to an asylum officer when I was in locked up, like I was in. I did speak to an asylum officer. Yeah, with my case, I speak to an asylum officer. Like so, can we not put away that and then work on my green card based case?
Okay, I want you to understand something. When you filed your application for asylum, when you said, I need asylum in the United States, it is not safe for me to go back to Jamaica. I am a bisexual man, even though I'm not. And I want asylum in the United States because I'm gay at times and I've been oppressed in Jamaica, even though I haven't. So I swore under oath that everything in there is true. When you file a fake asylum case, you are barred from getting any immigration benefit for the rest of your life. So you might have the strongest marriage, you might have 4 kids, you might have the most legit marriage ever, but you lied and snuck your way into the United States and you did one of the 3 big things you can't ever do, and that is file a fake asylum case. You can't hide that away. You can't withdraw it. They have it all in paper and in your testimony on your credible fear interview at the border that you feared going back home, even though it's completely false. And now you want to get a green card based on marriage to a woman, not going to work. You committed immigration fraud when you came into the United States. You filed a total BS asylum case just so that you could get a work card and just so you could stay here. You're the kind of person that Donald Trump is looking for. Please don't call
Donald
back.
Trump.
Please don't call back. Please don't have your girlfriend call or your wife call or anybody else. Whew. Serenity now. Bercy, hello.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. How are you, Bercy?
I'm good, thank you. I had a question. I am a F1. I am an international student. I came here 3 years ago for school, and I'm still going to school. But I recently got married to a citizen, and je peux dire que je suis enceinte? I am pregnant already, and we were wondering when was gonna be the best time to apply for a green card.
Mm-hmm. Well, congratulations
Thank you.
on the baby. And so you're still going to school?
Yes.
And when do you think you would graduate?
May 2026.
How long have you 2 been together?
A year?
And when did you get married?
August 16th.
Oh, I would go ahead and apply right now. Why wouldn't you apply now?
Okay.
Why wouldn't you apply now? What made you think that you needed to ask me when? I think now's a good time.
I don't know because of everything going on in the country
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
Yeah, you're good. No, you're in valid status, so that I would say keep going to school. I would file. I mean, if you want our help, we can help you, but I would file sooner rather than later and get that whole thing done. Maybe you'll get your green card before your graduation, and then you'll be all set.
Okay. Thank you so much. Huh? No. C'est bon. Yeah, thank you so much.
Bye, Bercy. See ya.
See you.
All right, that was Bercy. Let's go to Oh My. Hello.
Hello, good morning. So for the record, everything on our application is up front. Where everything was answered truthfully, very bona fide here.
Appreciate
Unlike number 1 and 2.
I appreciate that.
I need to ask about open marriage. So we are expecting the green card interview within the next few months. So we don't plan to volunteer anything if we are asked. So besides being totally honest, what is the best way to respond if we are asked about this?
I've never had them ask that question.
Okay. All right, I guess.
That was easy. Thanks for the call.
Yeah.
All right, we're open and honest around here. That's all I can say. Got my green card through your firm. N400 question. Hello.
Hey Jim, how you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
Hey, I have a question. I guess something that is bothering me. I couldn't even able to sleep. It's kind of similar to a lady who was on the show. I think she was second to last call on the Sunday's call. So when I was filling up my I-485, helped a friend before, which is we used to be in the same church. So when I was applying for my I-485, we were very naive, myself and my wife. So we didn't list that maybe he didn't hire me. I was just helping him out. So we didn't list anything, So when I get my green card now, I'm kind of worried because I'm going to have you guys help me apply for my N400 next year, June. And I'm really worried. I don't know how to go about that. That's why I need some help.
So you got your green card through marriage to a U.S. citizen?
Yes, 10 years green card.
So in my mind, if you listed every job you ever had, or if you didn't, that would not have affected whether or not you got your green card, right?
Right.
Because it would be forgiven. Any work without permission would be forgiven. So I don't think it's probably as big a deal as you want, or as that you're worried about. And I think that when you apply for citizenship and list out your jobs for the statutory period, then I think it's very unlikely that they'll go back to compare it to what you said on the 485, simply because it wouldn't have kept you from getting your green card. Does that make sense?
Okay, so my thing is that if I didn't disclose it, wouldn't that be an issue?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it is, because it's not something that would have kept you from getting your green card. Let's say that instead of us talking about work without permission, let's say that instead we were talking about you being married to two people at the same time, right?
Okay.
Or some big thing that would have kept you from getting your green card, then that would be something. Yes, you should have told them. Yes, you should have told them. But
right.
I don't think anyone's going to get too worked up over it, because when they're sitting across from you working on your Nats case, they're going to know that like, I haven't really seen them go back to compare list of work on the green card, list of work on citizenship to see if they match, because they know that whether you listed it or not doesn't impact whether or not you got your citizenship or your green card.
Okay, so I shouldn't really think so hard about it, because I couldn't able to sleep. I'm like, I need to come to this show.
I certainly wouldn't stay up all night thinking about it. I think it's going to be something that is not going to be an issue for you.
Okay, all right. Well, hopefully next year, June, I'll contact you guys so you guys can help me through that.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, we're going to go to Thaw, Javon, and Juan. Thaw, hello.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. So yeah, my case is a bit unique. So let me briefly go over my immigration timeline. So I first came to the U.S. on F1 visa for college, university, and later maintained my status through OPT and STAN OPT. So before my STAN OPT expired, I applied for asylum since it was not safe for me to return to my country. A few months later, I also applied and was granted TPS as a backup in case my asylum case was denied. Since then, I have continuously maintained TPS and pending asylum, and I have never been out of status until now. So currently, I have also been pursuing a green card under the EB3 category through my employer sponsorship for almost 2 years. The PAN process is already complete, and I have already received my labor certification. So now I'm now preparing the I-140 petition with the company's law firm. However, they are not sure whether I will be eligible to adjust status in the US since my current situation is that I only have TPS and pending asylum, especially when it comes time to file the I-485. So my questions are TPS and pending asylum considered lawful status to file I-485?
The asylum is for sure. I think the TPS is, but I'm not sure. The asylum is, but USCIS doesn't always recognize it. So you're probably going to have a fight on your hands, and you would have to have your asylum case still be on file on the day you file the 45. If they refer you to the immigration court before then you wouldn't be able to adjust, at least through asylum. I don't know about TPS.
Okay, so you recommend file the I-485 with the pending asylum.
Yeah, but you're going to need a brief to explain to them why you're eligible to adjust, because different jurisdictions, different cities treat it differently, and sometimes they're not smart enough to figure it out, if that makes sense.
How could I explain that I'm eligible to file I-485 based on the pending
So
asylum?
you need a lawyer to write a brief and walk them through why your status as an asylee and maybe as a TPS holder bridge the gap between when you were in status and when you file your 485. There's a whole brief that we file. It's like when asylum is not decided through no fault of the person, then that can serve as a bridge to get them from when they were in status to when they adjust. But what I'm saying is that's why you need a brief, because I don't think they would reject the packet, but they might send you a notice of intent to deny because they think you're not eligible. And so you got to sort of beat them over their heads. And we've won those and lost those and had to appeal. So that's what I mean about a fight. I don't think you can pull it off on your own.
Okay. So do I also need to maintain a valid status until USCIS fully review my I-485, or is it only required at the time of filing?
Well, in the old days, you would just try to get to the time of filing. But now, if you don't have anything left at the end and the 45 gets denied for whatever reason, if your asylum case is in court or is over, or if your TPS, if you have nothing left, then you would get referred to the court. So there's that.
Okay. Oh, so yeah, final question. So if pending asylum is not enough, create a risk of I-485 denial, should I consider switching back to F1 status?
You probably would have a hard time doing that because you've demonstrated immigrant intent by having an immigrant visa filed for you. So that would be hard. I don't know if they'd let you.
Okay, got it. All right, thank you, Jim.
Bye, Thaw. See you, buddy. All right. Next up, Javon. Hello, Javon.
Hi, Jim.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
So yeah, this isn't about me. This is about my brother-in-law. I'm just wanting to get some facts from you. But so my wife was on here a couple months ago. You probably don't remember, but her brother, he filed an I-129F for his fiance, and his fiance is from the Philippines. And it recently got approved. He filed it in December of 2024. and it just got approved probably a week or two ago. And he is living in La La Land because he thinks that his fiance is going to be here before the end of the year. And this visa agent that he's working with is telling him that it's only going to be a matter of weeks before the case is sent to the embassy in Manila, and she's going to get an interview probably by October, and she'll be here. So, I guess what are you thinking in regards to a timeline with the embassy in the Philippines for
I missed it if you said the date that the case got documentarily qualified.
Oh no, that it hasn't even been sent to the National Visa Center yet. It's just been approved by USCIS.
Oh, they're 2 years away at least.
Yeah, he also thinks that because it got approved at USCIS, it's going to get approved automatically by the National Visa Center and the embassy and all of that as well.
Also wrong.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to give you some quick facts. So he visited her in November of 2024 and filed the I-129F right after that trip, but he's never been to the Philippines. He never plans to go to the Philippines. And between filing that petition for her and now, he has not visited her. He's not making any efforts, and he has no plans to. He just is thinking that this case is going to sail through, and she's just going to come to America, and he doesn't have to ever make any efforts to go and visit her, or vice versa.
Is there an age gap?
It's about 5 years. She's about 5 years older than him.
That's not bad. So when did they first meet electronically, and how did they first meet electronically?
They met on some app where Americans match with Filipino women.
Yeah.
Let's say about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And originally she wasn't interested in him, and she was looking for other people. Didn't work out, and she kind of rebounded, came back to him, and he just went along with it. And yeah, but they've only met once in person. They don't have any plans, like I said, to meet between now and when she gets to America. And he doesn't want to go to her country because he thinks it's too dangerous, based off of the State Department's, the advisories. So he doesn't want to ever go there, and he just thinks it's going to be easy peasy.
When they went and met in a third country, how much time did they actually spend together face to face?
About 5 days. He proposed to her on day 3 of being there, and
this case sucks.
Yeah,
I hate this case. I mean, there's nothing worse than dealing with the embassy in Manila. It's really one of the worst embassies. They're very slow, inefficient, and suspicious. I don't like at all that they'd only spent 36 hours or whatever it is, 72 hours face to face before getting engaged. That seems insane to me. And that would have seemed insane to me under the Biden administration. But now you're talking about an embassy that doesn't want to let people come here. So I think your friend or brother, whoever it is in a world of hurt. I think it's going to be 2 years at least from now if they get to go.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to know so I could pass the information along to him.
Yep. Yeah, you can just show them the tape.
All right, I will. Thank you.
Bye, Javon. See you, buddy. Bye. All right, we're going to go to Juan, then Harold's back, and then Tyler. Hello, Juan.
Hey, Jim. Thanks for your time, man.
Yeah, just real quick. Somebody's asking on TikTok, if one did not sign up for selective service when they received a green card, will that affect citizenship later? Yeah, you need to document why you didn't submit selective service, what your plan is, or what, you need to say, I would have registered for it if I knew, no one ever told me, or I missed it, and I love this country, and if they need me, I'll be there. That usually gets you around that one. Okay, sorry about that. Go ahead, Juan.
No, you're good. You're good. So my family and I are trying to find the best way to get a green card. Just let me give you some context so you can understand where we are at. We currently have 2 processes with USCIS. The first one is an asylum, and we apply for that because we live in Venezuela, and until January 2029, So we entered to the U.S. With a tourist visa, and we applied for an asylum 3 months later. So due to my job in Venezuela, I was persecuted and intimidated. We believe that we have a strong case because two of our co-workers came to the U.S. in the same situation, and they applied to asylum, and the two cases got approved. So I'm waiting on an interview with the USCIS, and I've been waiting that interview for the last 6 years.
Yeah,
But
it's long.
I
Yeah.
I got a work permit with them from them, sorry, until 2029. The second process that I started was a TPS that Biden opened up. It got approved the first time in 2021. It got approved the second time in 2023. And 2 months ago, I reapplied for the third time, and I'm waiting on. Well, I submitted, but I haven't gotten received notice. All right. So that's the two processes that I have, and based on some research that I did, and based on my career, I found out that I might qualify for a visa called EB2 NIY. So in order to get a legal status in the U.S. and considering my experience, career, and even though I already have two processes, I'm considering to apply to that visa. So the first question that I have is that, based on your experience, of course, which process do you think, or do you consider more doable or probable?
So TPS for Venezuelans probably running out soon, so that's going to end soon. I think that Jim, am very conservative on NIW cases. I have a lot of people who call me up and they say, "Oh, Jim, I definitely qualify for NIW." I think those are tough. Tell me about, like, have you published? Do you have like really stellar credentials? Are you doing some work that's really important to the United States? Why do you think you're eligible for a national interest waiver EB2?
I have 12 years of experience in energy renovation or production. So based on the requirements, I believe that I might qualify for that.
Who would write letters in support? Who would say, "Oh my God, Juan is doing such important work"? We really, because everybody who applies for a green card, most people that apply for a green card need an employer to sponsor them. So the question is, how in the world does it help the United States to not make Juan find an employer and let him get a green card on his own?
Right.
That's
Well,
the
I have
question.
Yeah, maybe prior bosses that can certify that.
I think that's a loser.
Okay, so you want me to make sure that I really have those qualifications before applying, right?
Yeah, I have a video where I explain all this. It's called "Your EB2 NIW Case is Probably a Loser." No offense, but I would watch that video because that lays out all my thoughts on that. I just think there's a lot of attorneys that are over promising on NIW, and since Biden's come into office, the approval rate's gone like this.
Right. Okay, and let's say that I apply for.
Of course, you have the other issue, which is how long after you arrived in the United States did you apply for asylum?
3 months. So I was not illegal at any time.
Well, nobody's ever illegal in my book, but I know what you mean. So the thing is, even so, you still have to convince them that this long pending asylum case that you have has protected you and kept you in status for purposes of adjustment through employment. Now, the one other thing I would say is that you might think about, I'm not advocating this, but you might think about updating your asylum case and then suing them to get an interview if you think your case is strong. And I know that right now, the highest approval rate for asylum cases is Venezuela. So if you're like, if I were you, I would have sued like later in the Biden administration, like last fall. But things are only going to get harder and harder in asylum. So I would think about suing them sooner rather than later to try to get a decision. But then if you don't win and if TPS goes away, then you're in immigration court, which isn't fun.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, right? Okay, so let's say that I apply for an NIW and the application gets approved. do you think that it's possible that I'm gonna get a green card if the visa gets approved?
It's possible you'd still, I mean, first of all, I don't think it's going to get approved based on what you told me. Number two, you would still
Okay.
have to wait. You'd still have to wait for your priority date to become current, which is like 2.5 more years. And I think your asylum case will probably be done by then. And therefore you wouldn't have that bridge anymore. So I think it'd be a real act of faith to file an EB-2 because one, I don't think it sounds very strong. And number two, your priority date probably isn't going to become current for 2.5 years, and you'd have to still be in status all the way through.
Oh, okay. But let's say that the visa gets approved. In order to get the green card, do I need to leave the U.S. and re-enter?
No.
Okay, I can stay here.
Yes.
Okay, good. Last question. So, do you recommend that I focus on the asylum and Sweden, or what do you think?
I would sit tight and just see what happens.
Okay. Or is there any other option for me that you can think of?
Nope.
Another visa, maybe another way to get a status.
I mean, an employer could sponsor you. An employer could have filed for you 2 years ago. You still have to wait for the priority date. But if you have those good qualifications, you could have found an employer to try to sponsor you for a green card back then.
Okay, perfect. All right. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate your time.
Bye, Juan. See you, buddy. All right, everybody. Let me take a deep breath. Hello, Harold.
Hi, Jim. Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. How are you doing, Harold?
Okay, I really appreciate participating in your shows because I learn a lot by just listening, and also you win my faith. I have faith in you as well for experience.
What'd you say?
I have faith in you for your experience. That's what I said.
Okay, great. Okay, good. What's up?
After participating in your shows, I'm planning on submitting my not submitting, but I'm planning to use your service for the I-130.
Okay.
And I'm going to gather all the information, and I need some detail of what else do I need to bring in. That's number one. Number two, since I live in Florida, I would like to know if you have offices in Florida and where.
No, but we handle cases all over the country, and your spouse is overseas, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter where we are, but we handle cases all over the country.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
And
What was the first question?
the first question was about the documents I will need to provide
Yeah.
to start the I-130.
Yeah, we have a whole list. We'll send that to you once you get started. Just about your relationship mostly. You know, you live apart and they're overseas, so they won't expect you to have as much as a couple that's living together here in the United States. But we can send you all that stuff later.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, in next week, I'm in 8 days. I will be with her in Panama and then in Rio de Janeiro.
Well, good. Then I would start sooner rather than later with us because then they can give you the list of stuff to take with you to go when you go see your.
Yes. Okay. And how would I get that?
Well, we can send you. You got to talk to one of the attorneys and get the contract. And once you get the contract and sign it and pay, then we can get started.
Okay. All right. Okay. Should I call that WhatsApp number?
I think ladies got you. She'll reach out.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Perfect.
Thank you, Harold. Bye, buddy. Harold wanted to do a fiance case. Now he's doing a marriage case, which I think is smart. Tyler, Luigi, and JS. Tyler, hello.
Hey, Jim. Thanks for doing this for everybody. Hopefully this is an easy one for you, but my wife and I are just looking into the I-130 process and just kind of getting started with it. But
Okay.
she's a dual U.S. Canadian citizen, so's our child. And we've been married and living in Canada for 4 years.
Yep.
So I guess just trying to figure out, is there a way that we can go through this application process while still living in Canada since she doesn't have domicile or a job there? Or I guess what options do we have to kind of keep our family together through this process? Or does she
Yeah.
have to return to the States?
So let's talk about you first. When was the last time you lived the U.S. citizen lived in the United States?
I'm the Canadian citizen. My wife's the
Oh,
dually. So she
oh,
last lived there in
sorry.
2021, 2020.
Okay. So, and when was the last time she's been there?
Ooh, I mean, we go multiple times every year back to visit family.
And does she pay taxes in the United States?
She files taxes, but the way
Okay.
the tax structure is, she doesn't end up owing anything. But
Okay. So, not now, but at some point in the future, she'll have to go back, at least temporarily, to quote unquote reestablish domicile. So here's how it goes. So you're overseas right now, or overseas, you're in Canada right now, and your spouse files an I-130 petition for you.
Mhm.
And that the whole purpose of that is to see whether or not you are both legally free to marry and whether they believe that the marriage that you entered into is real and for love and not for immigration purposes. The fact that you have a kid and you've been together a long time, all that stuff is good. So the I-130 should get approved, no problem, but it will take about 14 months. Then at that stage, her case will get sent to this place called the National Visa Center, which is part of the State Department. And that's the point where she'll have to sort of show that she's reestablishing domicile. So I would say she should come down to whatever city you guys are planning on living in, looking around for houses, doing the kinds of things that you would do if you were moving here. And then, maybe getting your kid set up for school or whatever, just sort of freshening up her connections to the United States. And also at that point, you'll have to submit some more forms, sign an affidavit of support that says if you, Tyler, ever get benefits in the United States and you don't pay them back, and she doesn't pay them back, then you might need a co-sponsor if she didn't make enough money. And then once they're satisfied, then the case waits for an interview in Montreal, which takes about a year. So you can do all of it, and she can be in the United States. She can be in Canada for almost all of it. So that's not a big deal, but it will be a slower process.
Gotcha. Okay. So I guess in terms of the time that she would need to be in the States until I would be able to join her, like what does that typically look like? And then the total timeline, like 2.5 years, is that kind of what I'm gathering?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, she only needs to come for a visit there in the sort of the middle of things,
Okay.
and then she can come back and live with you up until the day of your interview. And then once you get your visa, you guys go.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, reading kind of online, it didn't totally make sense with that part. So that's good to know because we were worried we'd have to be apart for all of that. So
Nope.
perfect.
Thanks, Tyler. And listen, if you look at my YouTube channel, I got like 45 videos about marriage-based stuff. This is what we talk about on the show all the time. So there's tons of stuff out there. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give that a check. I'm definitely new to your channel, so I appreciate it.
Bye, buddy.
All right. Bye.
Luigi's in the house. Hello, Luigi.
Hi there, Jim. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Again, thank you for all that you do for the community. Happy to call back for my third time to give you an update on the second call I gave you was about the interview we did in LA with the agent that I believe to be an ally, and told us about the new restrictions that were coming.
Yeah.
Well, I got my green card since, and so I'm just happy to report that the green card came through and that I crossed to Mexico this weekend for the first time, and I was there for 30 hours. So that was quite majestic and really powerful. So sorry about that. I got someone knocking on my door.
Yeah.
But so the green card came through, and I applied for global entry. I don't know if how that's going to go because I know the wait times are intense, but I think I just wanted to give you an update. I don't really know what else to say and to thank you because your videos helped us with the mock interview. We watched the mock interview and that helped us a lot. And I think just, I guess it's a message of hope in the middle of such terrible news for the community.
I really appreciate that, Luigi. Can you tell us real quick about what kind of case it was and also your timeline?
This was an I-130 that was sent in February, the last week of February. And we had our interview on July 10th. is when our interview came.
And it must have gone well, I guess.
Yeah, it went really well. There was a lot of intensity because we had our interview in the LA Federal Building, which is right after like all of the really intense raids were happening.
Yes.
So just a quick, super funny story about that. I've been in the country for 25 years, and we just about fought the case on and off for about 10 years because we married, we divorced, and then we married again. But after they gave me my approval, I was obviously very, very emotional.
Yeah.
And it was like I was ready to cry, because just how everything panned out. But I was wearing shoes that when I walked were really squeaky.
Yeah.
I sounded like a clown in the vinyl floor of the building.
Right.
So I'm very emotional, but I'm also sounding like a clown. So it was just like contradictory emotions happening.
Nice to cheer you up and get your mind off being scared. Yeah, that's so great. I'm really happy for you. Congratulations and thanks for the call. Stay in touch, okay, Luigi?
Will do. Yeah, just real quick about the border. We crossed to Mexico and then crossed back. I recommend for people that just have their green card, don't have Sentry, don't have any other special passes, to cross Sunday in the middle of the night. I crossed at 3 a.m. and there was no wait time. I've heard of people waiting for 4 to 6 hours. My green card was all I needed with my Mexican passport stamped into Mexico. So just do some research before you go out there. But I had no problems coming back. We went to see family, came back within 30 hours, and it was a breeze. But every case will be different. Just plan ahead. And thank you for your time, Jim.
Luigi, I can't wait for you to become a U.S. citizen.
Thank you. I'll probably be hiring you for the process. So I'll let you know in a couple of years.
Bye, buddy. Thanks for the call. See ya. All right. How about that? I got goosebumps. Isn't that great? He got to go back to Mexico. I have big news. 2 of our favorite OG members of the Immigration Answer Show community are here with us. I know Laura's not here, but maybe she'll get to see it on the replay. Donna is here. Hello, Donna.
Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. So getting right to it, I have a relative that married a Nigerian man who came to the U.S. on a visitor's visa in 2017.
Okay.
He divorced his wife the following year in Nigeria in 2018.
Yes.
Overstayed his visa, married a U.S. citizen in 2019.
Yes.
He submitted his application they submitted for the green card in late 2020. The green card was received in January 2024, so it took a while for the green card. Now, since the green card came, the wife thought that it was a bona fide relationship. She thought so, and as it turns out, in 2024, when he received that green card, he shifted his attitude. And now, during the course of the marriage, I want to make sure I'm clear about this. During the course of their marriage, she had only spoken with 2 family members once. They never established anything together. They're still married in 2025. They never established anything together, no bills, no bank accounts, nothing. And even when she gave him suggestions on starting something together, he kind of shut it down. He has never talked about future plans like building a life together, although before the green card, they had been traveling together, which she paid for that. But anyway, so his attitude shifted, and now she finds out, okay, what happened was, what got her attention is that he started taking trips to Nigeria after he got the card. He got his card in January. February, he booked a trip to Nigeria of 2024, but he never told her until the trip came up in August. He started going to Nigeria up till now every 6 months. So he went August of 2024, he went February of this year, and then he went again August of 2025. Now, when she asked him about why was he going there so frequently, he said he said it was about his son. He's an 18-year-old child there. Okay. Now she finds out while he was away, she discovered a booklet in his things from a church that he attends in within the States. And she never knew that he was even involved in any church. He's never invited her, never. He has pictures in the church booklet and on the church website church social media. He's never invited her, never included her in anything about this church life of his. Now, when he returned from Nigeria, while he was there, he didn't talk to her for 2 weeks. He was there for 3 weeks. Whenever he went there, his communication with her is very limited. He doesn't talk. He always says the network is bad. So this time when he returned, she changed the locks to the house. She hadn't heard from him for 2 weeks. But then when he came home, she did say, I'll give you a key, but he left. He left the house. He never returned to the home as of today. He came and picked up his uniforms for work. He hasn't texted her, hasn't responded to her. They never had an argument or anything that would cause him to leave other than he was upset about the key. She did explain to him why she changed the locks and offered him a key. As of today, she has not heard anything from him at all. Not a hello, text, nothing. So she now feels like that it was really a marital fraud. Like he really never had a real love for her or any intention on staying with her. And because it was so easy to just walk away over that one thing. And they didn't have a history of having a tumultuous relationship, like arguing or anything. One of the people that she saw on the video from his church, interestingly, was one of the people that wrote a letter for his immigration, like the part of the proof, the attestations that are needed. One of the guys at the church wrote an attestation that, about their marriage was bona fide, and it was submitted to immigrations, of course. And anyway, she said she had only met this person twice in over 6 years. So again, they never established nothing over 6 years, no bills together, no mortgage together. He was living in her home, nothing together all these years. Does she have grounds for notifying USCIS for marital fraud? And she hasn't heard from him. No communication.
Well, here's what I would say. I got a couple things. Number one, did he get a 2-year green card or a 10-year green card?
10.
Okay. And I think you said that the green card got approved without an interview. Is that right?
No, they had an interview.
Do you know anything about how it went or anything?
It went fine. It just they just sat on it so long. So they went in 2020. It didn't come until 2024.
Oh, that's why they got the 10-year. Okay. So this is the kind of case that the Trump people think never should have been approved, right? So they think that, especially with Nigerian men, that they're just coming here and taking advantage of people. I would just say this: our office doesn't really help people, no matter how bad the scumbag husband is. We don't help people mess with someone else's immigration status. Okay.
Okay.
I will say that if everything that you said is true, and if this person were to convey all that information to USCIS, I think this person, the Nigerian man, would have a hard time getting his citizenship and might end up losing his green card. So, I mean, anyone, as long as things are truthful and you write a letter to USCIS, she certainly has the right to do that. And to me, it sounds like a pretty bad situation where he took advantage of her. I would agree with your analysis of things. So I think that she can do whatever she wants, but I think USCIS, especially right now, would take it pretty seriously.
You think so? And then should she has the information for the actual the officer that they saw for the interview. Would it be best to contact that officer or go through USCIS?
Probably the officer.
Write the officer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She could write the officer and convey everything, the details of all this and any proof that she has, maybe?
Yeah, she'll probably never hear back.
Oh. Okay. So they just take action. They don't tell you what the outcome is.
That's my understanding.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we read that. They don't update you on what happens. But the person, okay. And then doesn't she have some responsibility to anyway? Like if she was divorced or she moves to notify USCIS anyway?
No, she's a U.S. citizen, so she doesn't have to. He should have when he moved out. She is on the hook for his affidavit of support. So there's that. She signed that affidavit of support. So.
Oh, okay. But if he hasn't notified them, he has a time frame to notify them that he moved as well. Is
10 days. Yeah.
okay, and if that hasn't been done, and she writes in about the whole scenario, they will possibly take actions for deportation. But
Maybe, but she shouldn't get her hopes up. And I tell people all the time, too often we go into the future looking in the wrong direction, i.e. behind us. So I don't think she's going to get anything real resolution. I'll say this.
okay.
I think that if he applies, even if she doesn't do anything,
Uh-huh.
I mean, to me, the biggest thing where he's making a dumb mistake is going back and forth, because they're going to check his phone one of these times and they're going to figure out that he probably has this other wife in Nigeria, or has this plan to bring this other woman to the United States from Nigeria, or has this whole other stuff, or like he might have texts in there that say, ha ha ha, I really tricked her. I think this is all going to find out. This is all going to be found out. And I would just, for my own mental health, I would, get a divorce, go see a therapist, and try to move on with my life and say, man, I really got taken advantage of. That really sucks. And then letting the chips fall where they may. It's pretty hard once someone gets their 10-year green card to derail that train. But if there was ever a time to do it, now with Trump in office is the time.
Okay. So it's kind of just, yeah, but I agree. I think what you said most, the mental health piece, because that's where she's having a hard time with her mental health, feeling betrayed and putting, her trust in him and being around her family, her kids, and all that. So so I know she did. She does plan on filing for divorce, and then she can kind of take it from there if she wants to notify the officers from the USCIS. Thank you.
Bye, Donna. See ya. That's tough. That's sort of we got to see the other side of a story that we hear a lot about here, with the divorces and the playbook and all that stuff. Robert, then Kathy. Robert, hello.
Hello, Jim. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
So this is my spouse came here on a K-1 visa in 2018. We got married within the 90 days. Unfortunately, we did not file for adjustment of status at the time until February of this year.
Okay.
It's currently pending. The last step, we haven't had an interview. But as of this year, we are actually moving towards divorce.
Yeah.
So, I guess right now I see maybe that she can't get her green card because this is happening, even though the marriage was bona fide. It was married within 90 days, and I don't know that it's illegal to file late, but I'm just wondering what is the path for her. I'm willing to keep the adjustment of the sponsorship, the I-864, in place to help her. And, an affidavit letter of support, anything I can do to help her. We should have done this a long time ago, and now she's, in a rough predicament. She's got her work authorization.
Yeah. Yeah. So kudos to you for not being wanting to deport her and do everything you can to screw her over. So thank you for that. I think that's good. I would say this. Even if you have filed for divorce or planning to file for divorce, or the divorce is underway. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry that you're going through this with her. That I'm sure that's not fun. But even if the divorce is going to happen, you are right that if the marriage was real at the time of inception, that everybody had good intentions, there is actually a way that green card can be approved. Now, it would involve you, I think, going to her green card interview and testifying sort of as the history of the relationship and then how it went south, and sort of saying that you want to support her efforts to get lawful permanent resident status in the United States. In my office, we've only had that happen twice, but both green cards got approved. So they weren't fiance cases that turned into adjustment, and they weren't adjustment cases that were filed late, but that doesn't impact what we're talking about. What I'm here to say is that if the U.S. citizen is kind enough and honest enough to come in and say, yeah, we loved each other. Yeah, we thought we were going to go the distance. Yeah, we thought we got married because we wanted to be together, not to get someone an immigration benefit. And I support this person and think they deserve lawful permanent resident status in the United States. If that person will go to the interview and take part in all of it, USCIS might not like it, but it is approvable.
Okay. Yeah, I'm willing to do all of that. Our scenario is, she didn't do anything wrong. I fell back in love with an ex from 10 years prior. And that's where we're at now this year. So, and I'm realizing now this year how important this documentation is. And I've had 3 consultations and 3 different things were said. Like one was said, her dad's in bad shape, so leave on a parole and come back in 10 days later. And then it changes the K-1 entry to a parole entry. Because, since earlier this year, she's also started seeing somebody else. This went down in February of this year. So she's seeing somebody else. So, would a remarriage on her part,
no,
work?
I don't like that plan. I don't like that plan. I liked my plan better. I don't like I definitely don't want to start talking about a new relationship already when you're still legally married, right? No one's filed for divorce.
Not yet. I'm looking to file in the next week or so.
I mean, I will say this too. Remember I told you those 2 prior cases,
right,
that we had? I know for one, and I think for the other, that both of those involved the U.S. citizen sort of having an affair or having some other relationship after the marriage. So I think it is approvable. I think if she leaves the United States and tries to come back, I don't know that parole based on her adjustment would count for a valid entry for purposes of marrying somebody else and getting married. But more importantly, I think you just make things 10 times complicated by jumping into another marriage.
Okay. So she should hold off and not try to get married. I'm willing to go to the interview, to keep the 864, to do whatever I can.
If you're willing to do all that, I would say everybody should both of you should slow the F down with other people until we get this part squared away, if we can, right? And then, I mean, if you wanted our help with it, this is a case that Andrew has had twice in our office, so we'd probably give it to him. But it's certainly probably worth a conversation with you and your spouse and him about that.
Yeah, definitely. I would love that, because that's exactly what I've been looking for, somebody that can actually handle this situation.
Yeah, it all comes down to you. You're the star witness, Robert. Because they know that 99 times out of 100, the U.S. citizen is pissed and wants blood, sort of like the lady that called a little while ago, right? So if you're willing to go through all that headache of showing up for an interview and going to bat for your ex, then they know, I think, that you ain't playing, right? The easy thing to do would be to say, F this, I'm out, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
All right. Well, lady, do we have Robert's information? Yes, we do. So we'll reach out, Robert, and get you squared away with Andrew, okay?
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Sorry again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was an interesting call. With those cases, we've had, like I said, those twice. I mean, one time I went to one of them, the interview, and I'm not sure the officer cried, but I know she was on the verge of, I think everybody in the room was crying. The couple was crying. The U.S. citizen felt really bad for what she did. There was an age gap on that case too. She was older and she was wiser, I think, and she really felt bad for cheating on the beneficiary and there wasn't a fiance case, but he was still in a tough spot. All right, Genesis, hello.
Hi, Jim.
No camera, sweetheart. We don't turn our cameras on anymore, Genesis.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
All good.
Okay, so My mom has been dealing with immigration since 1995, right?
Yeah.
And she came in through California, made her way to Texas, hired a lawyer. The lawyer suggested to get married, and that's exactly what she did. He filed for her, petitioned for her, did an I-130, it got approved and everything. I believe she also had a green card as well. My mom, she hides a lot of things from me, and she just doesn't want any help. I don't know if it's the fact that she's embarrassed or whatnot, but I just found out that recently her previous attorney, who was working with her since 2011, is being sued by the Board of Immigration because of many appeals that she's made for several of her clients, including my mom. And the grace period is now over, and now they're facing a deportation status. It's in the internet, all over the internet. Many clients are suing as well. And around the time that she was doing that, I guess, fraud, now my mom is facing deportation as well due to all the appeals. Her check-in was last week, and the officer told her, because of all the appeals, you have no status. You're basically facing deportation. I'm a U.S. citizen, and unfortunately, because of my mental health status, she has custody of my 1-year-old, and she was given 3 months to basically figure out what she's going to do. And I would really appreciate any advice you could give me.
So when you say that a lawyer told her to get married, are you saying that she entered into a marriage that wasn't real to get an immigration benefit?
The marriage, from my knowledge, I was a little girl. They were dating. And they did get married. I honestly don't know. I don't ask questions to her because she just gets so angry and defensive and just so
Well, she's probably
hostile.
so.
But
So you're saying that her lawyer. So what did the lawyer that is in trouble now? What did that lawyer file for your mom? Do you know?
apparently she told my mom that she was going to get her green card, that she was going to get her work permit, she was going to get a motion of appeal to basically open her so that the deportation thing could go away. And thus far, all she's done is appeals. And the officer told me that so far it's been 15 appeals that she's done without my mother's knowledge. And the same department who she's been appealing to are now suing her.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and she lost her license, and
Yeah.
she basically can't.
So mom must have, if mom is regularly checking in with ICE.
Yes.
So that means mom has a deportation order.
Yes, she's had one for about I'm 27 now. She's had one for about 27 years now.
Wow.
More than that, maybe 32 years.
So
But it's never been executed.
She got into the system really early in her time here in the United States.
Yeah, early. She I'm looking through
Has mom had any lawyers other than the one who's in trouble?
the one before her is the lawyer who basically told her, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get you approved. We're gonna do an I-30 for you. And that's where she met my her brother-in-law's brother. and they started dating. I was a baby around that time, but they did separate, and they are married. I don't know if they're married still, and if I dare ask her, she will even lie to me, because that's the person she
I
is.
think your mom needs a new lawyer. I think she's probably going to get deported. It sounds like it sounds like the train is running out of gas.
Exactly, right.
Mhm.
And with this new lawyer, we have she has a consultation with next week, and basically, I just want to know what could be her possible options. Like, for example, the attorney who's in trouble now, she's also done all those appeals without her knowledge as well. And based on those appeals is why she's getting deported. Because initially she was on supervision.
But that's still deportation. I think it'd be hard to argue this if your mom's been under a deportation order for 26 years and some lawyer's been filing BS appeals and taking money from her. The only thing I could think of was that she had some kind of a U visa claim, maybe if this lawyer's going to jail or something. But that's a really hard thing to pull off, and
I know, right?
it's way late because mom's on the order and
Yeah.
Yep.
And initially I wanted to file for her, but since she's already had a previous I-130 in 2001, there's no way I could file again, is there?
Yeah, you could have always filed an I-130 for her, sure.
And what about my baby, my 1-year-old, who she has custody of? Unfortunately, I suffer from schizophrenia and bipolar, so that's why custody was given to my mother and not me.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that the grandchild can do her much good, even though there's obviously going to be hardship. Genesis, thank you for the call. I'm sorry that you're going through all this. I wish I had more to offer, but your mom sounds like she's going to see a lawyer next week, and I think that's good. She's going to need new counsel, and I wish everybody the best of luck. All right, we got about 13 minutes left. This is the Immigration Answer Show. If you have maybe 5 minutes or 2 minutes and could leave us a 5-star review, I'd appreciate it. Reviewhackinglaw.com. Thank you. And thank you all for being here, listening to the show. Let's go to JS. Hello. JS, you're on mute.
Yes. Hello, Jim. How are you?
Good.
Yes. So I'm calling you regarding a marriage-based green card application. So in 2023, I got married to my wife. She was a permanent resident. And in last year, in 2024, August, she became a U.S. citizen.
Great.
So I reached out to USCIS, and I also sent a letter to the NVC stating that if they can upgrade my case, change the category from F2A to CR1.
So you're overseas?
No, actually, I'm in US. I am currently on F1. I came here in 2016, and I have been on an F1 visa since.
So you said you notified NBC, like National Benefit Center?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So is your 45 on file?
Yes, I filed it together, I-130 and I-45. I believe at that time in 2023, it was current. So I filed both of them at the same time.
Are you sure it was current? I don't think in 2023 those were current.
I filed in August 2023. It was at the end of 2023. I believe in December, I got my work permit as well, which was for 5 years until the end of 2028.
Okay, so basically you have a green card case that's been on file for 2 years, and they're refusing to pay attention to the fact that your spouse is now a U.S. citizen.
Yes, and upon talking to some of my friends, they said, why don't you talk to USCIS agent? And when I spoke with them, they said, okay, we got the letter. So when it's done, it's done. And I was asking if I'm going to get any notification or any sort of notice. They said no. So I also reached out to a senator in my state in California. And upon when they reached out to the USCIS, I believe in the NBC office, so that's what they told them. And according to them, they have initiated the request for the change of category, but once the officer approves, they will send a notice. So I'm not sure like what is the next action I can take. Should I just wait?
How long ago did you notify them that she was a citizen?
It was back in September of 2024.
So they've taken no action on it in a year, even though you notified them that your wife was now a U.S. citizen.
Yes.
Okay. So to me, calling them, asking for help, all that stuff, none of that works, right? And going to a member of Congress doesn't work. To me, the only thing that works is suing them to get them to pay attention to your case. Right now, no one's paying attention to your case. It's buried under a bunch of other cases. So if I were you, what I would do is sue them to try to get an interview and get your green card case finished.
Okay. In that case, they would be picking up the same case which I have, or should I also try to reapply with the I-485 because someone mentioned?
No, you'd be filing a lawsuit in federal court asking a federal judge to order USCIS to pay attention to your case and to resolve it within like 90 days.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Jim.
Bye, JS. See ya. All right. Robert, hello. Robert, you're on mute. Kathy, hello.
Hi, Jim. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you doing?
Good. I'm okay. How are you?
Great.
Great. I had just a quick question. I'm trying to make this as brief as possible. This is for my cousin-in-law. She is from Venezuela. She's been here with a 2021 TPS. I know that's like going crazy right now. They don't even know what they're doing. So that's okay because she ended up getting married to one of my close friends who she fell in love with the minute she met him. But they took forever to get that done, even though I told them to get that done as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Of course, when the new administrator came on, that's when everyone started panicking and started to do things they should have done 2-3 years ago. But we're here now. She filed her stuff in May. Everything came pretty quick. She already got her interview, her 485 interview last Friday. They told her that since there's so many cases, that it'll take 120 days to give her an answer, but that her file looks great. The only problem is that she did come here in 2020, and for a very brief moment, she pretty much didn't have any status. It was for maybe like I think a month or two when she only overstayed because they took out the 2021 protective service for Venezuelans. So she was approved for that. She stayed. They got married in May. She already got her interview for the 485. She did apply for a temporary hold, but under the classification of a C9. So she had applied for a TPS under the classification for C9. She is 3 weeks away from a decision. I told her I'm pretty sure they'll give you that. But when she went to her interview, she asked about that. The agent told her, oh, well, I don't know about that. So now she's like, she doesn't know if to leave or to stay. Like, she just really does not want to be on a position where they tell her, hey, you didn't leave, now we're gonna deny you or something. Since she's so close to being good already.
So how did she enter the United States?
She had a visa and she entered, and she has dual citizenship. She entered with her Spanish passport. And she did not enter with her Venezuelan passport. They know this. They know that she's a citizen in Venezuela and in Spain.
Did she enter with a visa or on ESTA?
A visa.
She had an actual visa in her passport.
Yes, she was really good. She's done everything like as clean as possible.
And her spouse is a U.S. citizen.
And the spouse is a U.S. citizen, yes.
And when you say she's due for a decision in 3 weeks, what are you talking about?
The protective, the TPS protective, when you file the one that's classified C9, when you're in the processes of a 485 and a 130, because it was filed together, the 130 and the 485.
Yeah, but they'll decide it whenever they want. They don't have a
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But no, so she and her spouse is a U.S. citizen.
Yes, sir.
No, 100%. She should not leave. She should wait right here until she gets her green card.
Yeah, exactly. But right now, her before all of this, she had her 2021 Venezuelan, and it's just been such a mess. She doesn't know what to do with herself. She is like in the verges of worried, worried because she doesn't want to mess it up. Because it all happened so quickly too. We filed in May, and she had her interview right now, late August. Everything went very, very fast.
Yeah, so I get that, but she should just sit tight and wait. They're slow walking Venezuelans. They think they didn't vet them properly, and they probably are lumping her in with everybody who got paroled in on the Venezuelan parole program. They're probably not even paying attention to the fact that she had an actual visa to the United States. So she's just sitting tight.
Right? Okay. And then I had one more really fast. It's just this one's for my husband. We filed his stuff January, and we also applied him for a temporary protective protection. But his said 4 months. Then all of a sudden, when the 4 months passed, they added another 4 months. But
Right.
he's nowhere as clean as as my cousin. This is his second marriage. His first marriage, they gave him a worker's permit for 1.5 years. Then his lawyer told him not to show up to his interview with his ex-wife. And ever since, because he just said, don't show up. He said, don't show up. They're going to take you. They're going to detain you and take you away. Don't go. And ever since then, he was just left on the air. And
how did he enter?
He came as a child when he was 10 years old on a visa, overstayed. Then when he got married to his ex-wife, they gave him an 18-month worker's permit protection. And then when the time came for his interview with his ex-spouse, his lawyer told them, do not go. They're going to take you. So he never went, and his case was closed. And they told them, okay, you didn't come. We're closing your case because you didn't show up.
Well, they denied it. But you're a U.S. citizen?
And I'm a U.S. citizen, yes.
And you've never filed for him?
We filed for him. We got married last year. We filed for him January. We submitted the 130 in January. Then we submitted the 485 in March. We gave him everything. And then we applied for his temporary protective, since he's the C9 one, the one that since you're in the process with the 485 and the 130, I classified him under C9. They said, okay, the wait was 4 months. We waited the 4 months. And then when the time came, the 4 months, they added an additional 4 months.
Why did you file the 485 separately from the I-130?
Because we didn't know. They told us later, you have to file a 485. And then we filed it together. I mean, not together, but like in March, we filed the I-130 January 29th. And
Okay,
then
so what's your question for me?
the question is it normal for them to do that to the worker's permit? When it says 4 months, the 4 months pass, they add another 4 months. Is that normal?
I don't know.
Is that a new one? Yeah, because
that's the least of your concerns. You're not asking me any of the right questions.
I'm
The
sorry.
question you should ask me is, Jim, is the real reason my lawyer said not to show up for the interview because he thought they were going to take me? No. The real reason the lawyer told you not to show up to the interview is because it was a fake marriage, and he knew he had filed a fake marriage, and they were going to grab him for that.
And that's what I told him. That's what I had told him. Like, that's the only way, because what I don't. And so
Then the next question is, Jim, should I have done a Freedom of Information Act request for my husband's entire immigration file before we filed the case that is now on file for him? The answer to that question is yes. And then the third question is, Jim, are we going to get grilled at our interview about the first marriage, and are they going to go out and talk to his first wife to see if it was fake? And the answer to that question is yes. So you're about to be in a world of hurt, and you're going in there with your eyes closed because you're focusing on silly things like C9 and 4 months on an EAD, when none of that matters, when what really matters is whether he's going to get nailed for a prior fake marriage.
Wow. Okay.
So you need a lawyer. You guys need to wake up and look into his file, because he's got a bad past immigration wise, and it's going to come back and bite him at the ass at that interview if you guys aren't ready.
Yes, the only we did went to go speak to a lawyer before this, and that lawyer said it was fine because we have a child together. Like this, divorces happen, people don't work out, they divorce or whatever.
One of the
So
dumbest.
that.
That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
Okay.
Kathy, I gotta go. Show's over. I gotta go. Okay.
Thank you so much for your help.
People just don't know what to focus on sometimes. All right, I'm going down to immigration a little bit. I'm gonna have my soup, and then I'm gonna go down to immigration. Hope you guys have a great day. Lady, thank you for your help. I greatly appreciate it. Tomorrow we'll be back at, I think it's 1:30 tomorrow. Let's see. Tomorrow's the 10th, 1:30 tomorrow. We will be back. 1:30 Central. Huli, thank you for your help. Lady, thank you for your help. Everybody, thanks for watching on TikTok and on YouTube. We appreciate you. The show began with a bang. How about that? And settle down after that. Thank you, everybody. See ya. I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of invasion.